Greetings everyone, welcome to Advanced, and this is a game from Tata Steel Rapid and Blitz, and this is a game played between prodigies. This is a game played between Nodirbek and Ramesh Babu Pragg'S. So definitely a battle between prodigies and a battle for the future. So without further ado, let's start this game. Sort of is with white pieces, and he starts with c4, and we have knight to f6 by Prague and just g3, and we have c5, bishop to g2 and just d5, and we have c captures, knight captures, and just knight to c3. We see knight to c7, we see the Rubinstein variation of the English opening, and we have knight to f3 and just knight to c6, and we see castles and e5, and we see a3 and just rook to b8. I'm definitely trying to throw up a rook out of his preparation, and we have this rook to b1 but just bishop to e7, and we have b4, and now we see a trade c captures, a captures, and just b5, and now see bishop to b2 and just castles by Prague, and we see knight to e4 and bishop to b7, and here was a chance for actually Nodirbek to go for this crazy line. Game is perfectly equal, but you could choose to go for this crazy line and maybe have some chances in the game. And this line starts with this knight to c5 attacking that bishop, and that knight is pretty strong. You have to trade that, so we'll see mostly bishop caps and b caps and just rook to e8, and after knight to h4 you'll see queen to d7, but the very immediate attack on the king side with this f4. But we'll mostly see this trade e captures, rook captures, and this knight to e6 coming with a tempo on the rook, so you have to move the rook back. So once the rook moves back, you'll play this rook to b8, and after e3 you play this queen captures, and instead of recapturing you play this knight to f5, just putting pressure on that g7 pawn. Currently it's being defended by the knight, but knight will surely be overwhelmed. So we'll mostly see this queen captures, and once the rook captures, we'll mostly see this queen captures, and once the king captures, you'll see this rook captures, and after rook captures, you'll see this knight to d4 check, and once the king moves, knight to f3 check, and after king to f2, you play this knight caps on h2, so knight to d6, going for this very nice fork, and only once the rook defends, now you go for this rook caps on b7. But first, knight switch into rook caps on f1, and only after c6 you'll play knight to h2, and knight will always have an escape square. And as crazy as it is, even after having the very nice c6 pass pawn, the game is still a draw. You already have a pass pawn, you can get the bishop developed, you can push the pass pawn, the rook is already, there are some background issues as well. So if anyone is to be preferred in this position, it's definitely white. But instead, Nodirbek tries to go for this knight caps on e5, just going for that centered pawn, but we'll see this knight caps on b4, and we have d4, but just knight to e6, and after e3 we have a5, but just bishop to a3. And you can see that by choosing not to go for that variation, now Prague has two connected pass pawns. It's going to be very much difficult to deal with that. And after bishop to a8 we have queen to e2 and just knight to c6, and definitely Nodirbek is going to try and trade as many pieces as possible. Otherwise, it's going to be very much difficult to deal with these pass pawns. So first we have this knight to f6 check, just opening up this very nice discovery. So after bishop captures, we see this knight caps on c6, and after bishop captures, and just b4, just stopping that bishop's attack on that rook. And we see bishop to b2, but just queen to d6, and after rook to c1 we have rook to c8, and after bishop to a4 we see this queen to d5. And here Nodirbek, without a move, goes for advancement on the queen side with this h4. And here Prague could have gone for a really aggressive approach with this very nice g5, and again, impossible to find such moves, especially in rapid and blitz time formats. And here after h captures, you'll play this knight captures, and after rook to c8 check, you'll go for this rook capture, and after queen to g4, just eyeing that rook, and only now once the rook moves, now you'll play this f4, and now the knight is pinned. There's pretty much nothing you can do about it, but there's only one move, which is this queen to e4, just spinning that pawn. Now you cannot capture, so after queen to e2 you'll play this knight to e6, and only after king to f2 you'll play this knight to d8, but just queen to g4 check, and once the king moves you'll play this queen to f3, and after queen to e6 you definitely don't want to trade queens. Your king side is not that safe, so after d5 you'll play this queen to d6, and after bishop captures, queen captures, you'll get this position where both kings are not that safe, but black has these pass pawns, and white is going to have really a trouble time defending against those pass pawns. But okay, instead of that g5 move, Prague chooses to go for a lenient approach. He goes for g6, and we have this rook f to d1, and after bishop to g7 we have rook to c2, but just h5, and here rook t to c1 was played, just doubling up on that c file. Now you have trade, so rook captures, queen captures, and just this b3, and we have this queen to c6, but just queen to f5, not allowing that trade. And after queen to g2 we have g5, and here queen to f3 was played, but just queen to g6, and now we see a trade, h captures, knight captures, and this queen to d5, and the position is actually completely equal. Even after Prague having these pass pawns, it's very much difficult to push those pass pawns because of these bishops. But here Prague was actually able to trick Nodirbek into going for a worse position, because here Prague took the risk and he went for this very spectacular h4, and there's only one move that saves the game in this position. So pause the video and try to find that move while I give you a couple of seconds. Congratulations on anyone who's able to find this move, and the move is actually g caps on h4. Yes, that's right, even going under the mask of the queen. And after move like knight to e4 check, we'll go for this king to f3. Yes, moving even further with the white king. And after knight to d2 check, you'll play this king to e2. And after knight to e4, king to f3, knight to d2 check, you'll mostly go for this draw. But instead of going for that draw, Nodirbek chose a different approach and tried to play on, but that was the best that he had in this position. Nodirbek tried this bishop caps on e3, but it does not work. So once again, pause the video and try to find the absolute crushing move for Pragg in this position, which gives him a winning advantage, while I give you a couple of seconds. So congratulations on able to find this move, and the move is actually h caps on g4. And here, sadly, for Nodirbek, the same line does not apply. If you go for this king captures, then you get this very nice check, and now once the king moves to trying to go for that perpetual, you get this very nice fork, winning the piece. So instead, Nodirbek tried to close the position and tries to play this f3, but here he just completely missed one move by Pragg, and the move that he all had to go for while going for this position was just to play this e4. And now Nodirbek is in huge trouble, because here f4 was played going for that knight, but just rook caps on b3, and here f caps on g5 was played, but just rook caps on b2 with a check, and only after king caps on g3 we have this bishop to f6, just overloading that g5 pawn. And here even Nodirbek could have gone for this very nice rook to c6, just pinning that bishop, but instead he plays the rook to c5, just defending that pawn. But now we have king to g7, and after king to f4 we have rook to f2 check, king to g3, and rook to e2. And here both players were very much down on the clock, so not that accurate moves, but you have to gain some time on the clock with the increment. So here king to f4, but just rook to f2 check, king to g3, rook to f1, king to g2, and rook to b1. And here king to f2 was played, but we have rook to b2 check, king to g3, and finally pushing that a pawn forward, we have e3. And here king to f4, but just rook to f2 check, king to g3, and a2, giving up a whole rook, because then the promotion, and then there's nothing you can do. So you cannot capture that rook. So here rook to a5 was played, but we have this rook to f5, just attacking that queen. And here queen captures, and here rook capture was played, but we have this bishop caps on d4, e captures, and just final promotion, a1 queen. And after rook to d5 was played, position is completely winning for Pragg. But here now the big still tries a few more moves. We have king to g6, but just king to f4, and after queen to c1 check, king to g4, and queen to g1 check, king to f4, and just queen to f2 check, king to e5, king caps on g5, and after rook to c5 we have f5, king to e6, and just king to g4, rook to d5, and just f4, and we have rook to d8, f3, and just g8 was played. Here king to f4, rook to f8 check, king to e4, and just d5, and here just queen to a2 was played. And it was on this move, on move 65, that Nodirbek finally resigned the game, and Pragg finally got his spectacular victory in Tata Steel Rap. So yeah, thank you all for watching. I'll be coming up with another amazing game. Just go, stay tuned for that, and I'll see you guys very soon. Thank you all.